Coming to you live from the studios of Power 92.7 FM, covering all of Upper Michigan and the internet. It's the Morning Request Breakfast Show. With your hosts, Devin Lawrence and James Alexander.
Yes, and we come to a close of yet another week here on the Morning Request Breakfast Show.
Boy, you jumped right in there quick.
Lots to do today.
Jeez, like bang! Screw the music, let's get going.
Oh, man. Lots going on today.
You said you got stuff on Wisconsin.
Yeah, I couldn't help it. I started looking and I pulled up my funny stories for Friday. And then the more and more I looked, there was more and more out there about Wisconsin. Of course, what didn't happen by the time we got off the air yesterday, we did talk briefly about Wisconsin and their the Democrats fighting the budget proposal that'll eliminate a lot of union rights in Wisconsin for government employees.
They didn't fight, yes, they ran.
Yesterday, it was supposed to be coming to a vote. Of course, this law was proposed last Friday, and he called for a vote within a week. A whole week to read the law and analyze it, right? It's not that bad. And, it's a lot better than 6 hours for a 2,000-page health care plan.
Not that that ever happens.
But that's not enough time, as the Wisconsin senators decided to take a vacation in Illinois. All 14 leaving the state of Wisconsin, because all they needed is one, and then it would be eligible for a vote. So I guess they all, jumped on a bus and drove to Illinois. I do have a couple clips of
probably down to Gurney Mills,
where they were found or interviewed by some Tea Party people with cameras went around in Illinois and found these guys.
That's awesome.
In fact, one was it after rendezvous at a Best Western resort across the state line in Rockford, Illinois. Wisconsin State Senate Democrats have reportedly packed up their things and are on the run once again. And we'll have the first interview on the website of these guys running up to their car as they're trying to get out of the hotel because it was found out where they were.
That's funny. That's awesome.
But they didn't all hide, as one of them, Senator, what's his name, Erpenbach? He phoned into WKOW yesterday. That would have been Thursday.
Phoned in.
Phoned it in. Phoned in his presence, yes. I guess, we ripped on Obama for, voting present. 115 times of his 138 votes.
Yes.
At least he voted present. He didn't run to a different state.
Yeah, he did, or a country. Oh, I don't like this bill. I'm going to run to another country. Oh, man, that's hilarious. I can't believe the Tea Party people are following him around. That's awesome.
Well, we did get, like I said, Senator John Erpenbach on his interview. It was a short interview, but explained the reasoning that the Wisconsinite Democrats are on their lam.
One of them is Senator John Erpenbach. He joins us live on the phone right now. And Senator, you told me a short while ago you've left Rockford. You're in the car. You're not heading back to the Capitol, though, are you?
No, we're not. We're actually going to stay out of Wisconsin for a little while in hopes to give the governor some time that he needs to sit down with those who disagree with him, have some pretty strong opinions about the budget, to see if they can work something out.
The governor a short time ago, Senator, spoke in a news conference and said that you folks are paid to be politicians at the state capitol, and you've basically left your jobs and shirked your duty by taking off today.
Well, actually, Greg, we aren't doing our jobs. We are doing exactly what we were elected to do, and that's to represent the people of our various Senate districts. My constituents have a tremendous amount of concern about this and feel very strongly that they're not being heard. And you have to keep in mind the governor introduced this proposal last Friday afternoon, and he wants it law by the end of this week. And we have provisions in this particular piece of legislation that throw out decades worth of union law, that has a governor's takeover of our state badger care programs and senior care programs. There's a lot of things in this legislation that people are very upset about. And you can't expect us to move forward with a state this divided. The governor has a responsibility to sit down and talk with those and try and work something out.
So, Senator, how long will you stay away? What will it take for you to come back to the Capitol?
Well, I don't know. It's a great question. I don't know. I mean, we are deliberately trying to slow.
It sounds like there we are.
What?
Go ahead.
You guys recall the Joint Finance Committee held a hearing on this thing and cut off testimony, and there were still quite a few hundred people signed up to testify on this. So again, our budget cycle ends June 30th. We have plenty of time to deliberate this. It doesn't need to be passed immediately.
Senator, where are you right now?
Well, right now I'm actually driving somewhere in Illinois. But again, it's not so much a matter of where we are, but it's a matter of what we're doing and why we're doing it. And we think we are doing our jobs and standing up for our constituents.
All right. Senator John Erpenbach, part of the contingent of 14 Democratic senators who left the state capitol today to delay the Senate vote. A very dramatic day, to say the least.
Very dramatic day. Senate is supposed to return to session Friday, but who knows what will happen.
I'd call for their impeachment. They're not doing their job. They took off. They ran. If they were doing their job, they would have stayed there, and they would have been, had talked more with people or done something instead of just running and trying to delay things. That's not doing their job.
Well, the problem is all they have to do is have one Democrat show up, and the bill passes. That's their philosophy, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. And I love it. Our constituents. Yeah, our constituents that are in unions. It failed to leave that part out. Never mind the other, hundreds of thousands of taxpayers that are sick and tired of paying for the freaking union dues and everything else. Never mind those guys. But those union people, by God, we got to listen to them because, well, they donate money to us.
Well, out of Madison, Wisconsin, the police officer was dispatched yesterday to find Wisconsin state lawmakers who had apparently boycotted a vote on a sweeping bill that would strip most government workers of their collective bargaining rights. The lawmakers, all Democrats in the state Senate, did not show up when they were ordered to attend a midday vote on the legislation. The proposal has been, and this is the reason why they're in Illinois, the proposal has been the focus of intense protests in the state house for 3 days. The Republicans hold a 19-14 majority, but they need at least one Democrat to be present before taking a vote on the bill. Today they checked out, and I'm not sure why they are at, or where they're at. Republican Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald said, "This is an ultimate shutdown that we're seeing today." Democrat Minority Leader Mark Miller released a statement on behalf of all Democrats urging Governor Walker and Republicans to listen to opponents of the measure and seek a compromise. His statement did not address where Democrats were or when they planned to return. Bill opponents in the Senate gallery cheered when Senate President Mike Ellis announced that there were not enough senators present to the proceed.
Great. And you know what? I love the fact that, well, you're supposed to sit down and negotiate and bargain a little bit. There is no negotiating or bargaining with a union. They're gonna want everything that they have now, and that's it. They want this thing taken away. They want their stuff they have, and that's it. They don't care about the taxpayer or anybody else. They just don't.
Well, let's play someone that cares. President Obama chimed in on the fact.
Oh, yeah, I know. I was hoping you were going to get to that. Someone who cares.
Thousands are marching on Madison even as we speak. Unions and state employees, they're angry right now at Governor Walker. Walker's talking about potentially bringing out the National Guard. They're worried about they're going to lose their right to bargain, and they're going to be forced to pay more in benefits. Others, on the other hand, are saying Walker's doing the right thing and suggesting maybe you should do the same thing as well. And when it comes to benefits, cutting benefits, having workers pay more.
Well, I'd say that I haven't followed exactly what's happening with the Wisconsin budget. I've got some budget problems here in Washington I've had to focus on.
You think?
I would say as a general proposition that everybody's got to make some adjustments to new fiscal realities. And I think if we want to avoid layoffs, which I want to avoid, I don't want to see layoffs of hardworking federal workers. We had to impose, for example, a freeze on
federal
pay
worker?
increases for federal workers for the next 2 years as part of my overall budget freeze. I think those kinds of adjustments are the right thing to do. On the other hand, some of what I've heard coming out of Wisconsin, where you're just making it harder for public employees to collectively bargain generally, seems like more of an assault on unions. And I think it's very important for us to understand that public employees, they're our neighbors. They're our friends. These are folks who are teachers, and they're firefighters, and they're social workers, and they're police officers. They make a lot of sacrifices and make a big contribution. And I think it's important not to vilify them or to suggest that somehow all these budget problems are due to public employees. So I think everybody's got to make some adjustments, but I think it's also important to recognize that public employees make enormous contributions to the well-being of our states and our cities.
And make enormous money.
Yes.
Enormous pensions. I mean, don't pay anything for health care, but that's okay. Don't worry about it.